Welcome back. All right, second review for tonight and, for today. And 11 more games to talk about if you're looking for a review of the three early games, or matinee as they're known. Those games have already been reviewed. That review is already on the channel. So there you go. All right, let's start things off talking about the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres, as there were some high-scoring games today. Shesterkin versus Luukkonen in this one, and on a turnover, Jack Quinn at 146 opens the scoring for Buffalo. The shots were 2-1 for the Sabres at 3.5 minutes. Things get pushy on a save by Shesterkin. The net was knocked off on that play. Teams trade turnovers. The Sabres press at 7 minutes. Good forechecking by Buffalo as well. And at 11:58, DAL-NJ scores from Jordan Greenway. So it's 2-0 for Buffalo. The Rangers look to respond. DAL-NJ's denied on a fast break. The shots are 10-3 for the Sabres with 5.5 minutes left. And at 15:32, Tage Thompson buries one in close to make it 3-0 in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. Peterka then has a 2-on-1 rush chance that's held. And then at 17:33, McLeod deflects in a point shot. DAL-NJ and Zucker with the assists. So 4-0. 2:10 left. The Sabres get a power play and they score on it at 18:21. It's DAL-NJ from Thompson and Zucker. It's 5-0. To put this into perspective, that ends the night for Shesterkin. Quick goes into the net, but also the point B to make here, the Rangers had 4 shots to that point in the game. So they had 4 shots. Buffalo had 5 goals. 5-0 Buffalo after the first. Second period. There's an early 4-minute power play for Buffalo. Quinn to Zucker. There's a near miss there. And then a shorthanded rush by Trocheck helps to finish that kill. So Buffalo did not score in that 4-minute double minor. And it kind of hurt their momentum. We then get a power play for the Rangers. And they score on it at 5:29. 8 seconds into the power play, Kreider deflects one in. Panarin and JT Miller with the assists. Trocheck has a tip shot that saved. The Rangers go back to the power play, and right after it comes to an end at 11:25, Zibanejad bats one out of the air into the net. Fox and JT Miller with the assist. Suddenly it's 5-2. And since it's Buffalo, you just never know. The Rangers press with 4 minutes left. Things get pushy at the horn. It's 5-2 Buffalo after 2. Third period. There's an early press by the Rangers, but at 3:47, Thompson puts one through quick from a distance. Kulik with the assist. And then at 5:40, on a net drive after a turnover, McLeod gets what's the second goal of the game. Zucker and Power with the assists. We get a power play for the Rangers after that. That's killed off. The shots are 5 apiece with 8 minutes left. The Rangers go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. Cooley has a rush chance. That's saved. And then in 19:24, Jokiharju gets in on the act. He roofs one on a rush. Benson and Gilbert with the assists. So the no mercy magnets on the board for the 8-2 victory for Buffalo. They go to 23-27-5 with the win. With the loss, the Rangers 27-25-4, and this one hurts. 3 stars in this one, DAL-NJ, Thompson, and McLeod. The 80s magnets right down here too, because 10 goals in this one. Shots on net, 16-8, Buffalo in the first, 10 apiece in the second, 10-7 Rangers in the third. Final shots, 33-28 for Buffalo. Power plays, Rangers 1 for 4, Buffalo 1 for 3. The hits, 29-28 for Buffalo. Shesterkin saved 11 out of 16. Jonathan Quick saved 14 out of 17 in relief. And Luukkonen, good night for Luukkonen. 26 saves on 28 shots. Easy to overlook that because, of course, they scored 8 goals. 8. All right, Seattle and Florida. Decord versus Bobrovsky in this one. Early power play for Florida. That's killed off. 2 shots on net. Shots are 3-0 for the Panthers, 3.5 minutes in. Seattle then draws a power play, and they score on it. Kakko goes 5-hole on a net drive. Beniers and Wright with the assists at 6:32. So Shane Wright picks up where he left off. He's on the score sheet, and Seattle up 1-0. Panthers look to respond. There's a press by the Kraken at the half. Bjorkstrand has a rush chance that's defended. The shots are 8-6 Florida with 6.5 minutes left. Samoskevich fires one wide on a rush. Eberle's denied. The Panthers clear. The Panthers press in the final minute. But it's 1-0 Seattle after 1. Second period, the Kraken press are kept to the outside. Panthers press at 2.5 minutes. In fact, the shots are 2-0 Florida at 3.5 minutes. So again, good starts by Florida in each period. The Kraken press at 4 minutes. Rodriguez has a wraparound chance that's saved. Panthers press at 9.5 minutes. Forsling breaks up a 2-on-1 for Seattle. And then at 11:37, Luostarinen roofs a net feed in close. Lundell and Mikkola with the assists. It's a 1-1 tie. Good forechecking by Florida follows that. The Kraken press with 4 minutes left. The Panthers score. It's challenged for goalie interference, and it comes off the board. So it's 1-1 after 2 periods of play. Third period, Kakko has a net feed that's picked off. Forsling fires one wide as they press. Panthers get some pressure at 4 minutes. A net feed to Noshek. That gets blocked. And then at 7:03, McCann roofs one from the left circle to give Seattle their second lead of the game at 2-1. Larson, and there's Wright with an assist again. So that's 2 assists in this game for Shane Wright. Seattle up 2-1. Schwartz is denied from the slot. The Panthers press with 6.5 minutes left. The shots are 5 apiece with 5 minutes left. I think the impressive thing is Seattle really took control of this defensively. Goalie pull happens with 2.5 minutes left with 1:43 left. Florida calls a timeout. They don't get a shot out of it. So, final score is 2-1 for Seattle. They go to 25-29-4 with the win. With the loss, Florida 34-21-3 on the season. Your 3 stars, McCann, Decord, and Lusterinen. Shots on net, 11-10 Florida in the first, 11-6 Florida in the second, 6-5 Seattle in the third. Final shots 27-22 for the Panthers. Power plays, Seattle 1-for-1, Florida 0-for-1. The hits 27-16 Florida. Decord saves 26 out of 27. Bobrovsky saves 20 out of 22. All right, next up, Dallas and New Jersey. So DeSmith versus Allen, and Nico Hischier making his return to the lineup for New Jersey tonight. Early press by the Devils. The shots are 3-0 for New Jersey at 3 minutes, and then Dallas gets a chance. It goes in the net. Dodonov buries a rebound in close. Dumba and Bork with the assists at 3:57. Things then get pushy on a hold by DeSmith as the Devils look to respond. But we get a power play for Dallas, and they score on it. Harley with his 10th of the season at 5:43. Wires one past a screen. Duchesne and Johnston with the assists. So Harley coming off 4 Nations. He looked good. Maybe it helped his confidence. Dallas is up 2-0. Tatar's then denied as the Devils press. The Devils get pressure at 9 minutes. We get a power play for New Jersey. That was killed off. 3 shots on net during that power play. Harley has a shot that's held as the Stars press, but coming out of the first period, there's 2 stories. 1, Dallas is up 2-0, and 2, Casey DeSmith looks pretty good. Second period, early press by the Devils. The shots are 3-2 for Dallas at 4 minutes. There's a near miss for Kovacevic. As New Jersey presses, we get a power play for Dallas. That's killed off. There's pressure by Dallas with 6.5 minutes left. We get a power play for the Devils. Hamilton has a one-timer. That's saved. That power play's killed off. Dallas presses with 1.5 left. It's still 2-0 for Dallas after 2. Third period. Teams trade turnovers. Hamilton hits a post from the point. The shots are 2-0 for New Jersey at 5.5 minutes, so they were trying. Devils press at 7.5 minutes. Meyer couldn't bury one in close, but the Devils do draw a power play, and they score on it. Jack Hughes from Hamilton and Brad at 10 minutes. However, they turn over the puck on the next shift, and Ben makes them pay, passing the puck to Duchesne, who buries it at 10:35. So Dallas gets their 2-goal lead back 35 seconds after New Jersey gets on the board. But New Jersey would answer that at 11:40. Jack Hughes with a one-timer from the left circle. He scores from Bratt and Hamilton, so the same players combine on both goals for New Jersey in the third period. Makes the score 3-2. Paul Lott can't bury one on a net drive as now the Devils are looking to tie it. With 58.5 seconds left, the Devils call a timeout. The goalie pull happens. It becomes a 6-on-4 as it's power play for New Jersey as well. And at 19:51, one of those rare occasions, Wyatt Johnston gets a shorthanded goal, which is also an empty netter, and gives Dallas the 4-2 victory. They go to 36-18-2 with the win. With the loss, New Jersey 31-21-6. Your 3 stars in this one, Jack Hughes, Matt Duchesne, and Thomas Harley. Shots on net, 12-9 New Jersey in the first, 11-9 New Jersey in the second, 10-8 New Jersey in the third. They outshot Dallas 33-26. Power plays, Dallas 1 for 3, New Jersey 1 for 4. The hits, 30-13 for New Jersey. DeSmith, 31 saves on 33 shots. Allen saved 22 out of 25 at the other end. So, tough loss for New Jersey, and for Dallas, they continue to get better on the road. Although now that I say that, yeah, New Jersey's had their struggles at home. So, either way, the trip continues for Dallas. Most of the teams that played today are playing tomorrow, so it should be a fun one tomorrow. I'm thinking a lot of goals tomorrow. All right, next up, Colorado and Nashville round this board out. Wedgwood versus Saros in this one. Early jump for Colorado. The Avs press at 2.5 minutes. The shots were 7 apiece, 5.5 minutes in. Both goaltenders sharp in this one as they had to be. The defense was optional, clearly. The Avs press at 9 minutes. There's a press by Nashville, but they're kept to the outside. Lehkonen couldn't bury a rebound in close for Colorado. The teams trade turnovers, and the shots really slowed down in the second half of that period. Lehkonen has a one-timer that misfires, and so it's scoreless after the first. Second period. O'Reilly has a rush chance, that's held, and then at 1:15 on a rush, Colorado opens the scoring. Malinsky with a one-timer on a 3-on-2. Drouin and Parsonen with the assist. So Parsonen, former Nashville Predator, gets on the score sheet there. But at 1:45, former Colorado prospect Justin Barron gets on the board to tie it. He fires one past the screen. Sissons and Cole Smith with the assist. So that Colorado lead lasted 30 seconds. There's a puck to the face on Girard. He did skate off. He looked okay. Just when a guy gets pucked in the face, very often they need to go get stitches. I would imagine it hurts like a lot, be my guess. McKinnon to Natchez. There's a near miss there. The shots are 6-5 for Colorado with 9.5 minutes left. Colorado would get a power play. Nashville kills that off. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period. There's a glove save on McKinnon on an early rush. The Avs press, but the Preds doing a good job of blocking out the net. The only shot on net is Colorado's at 3 minutes, but they had opportunities. Colorado presses at 6.5 minutes, but at 9 minutes and 11 seconds, Marchessault scores for Nashville to make it 2-1. Shen and Yossi with the assists. The Avs press with 8.5 minutes left. The Preds get pinned down, but they're blocking the path to the net again. There's a post for Logan O'Connor from the doorstep. The goalie pull happens with 2:32 left. Nashville gets a power play, and it's a 4-minute power play. They also pull the goaltender, does Colorado, to make it 5-on-5. The Preds end up hanging on. They end up winning this one 2-1. So that's the second chess match. Games with 3 or less goals are chess matches. And so 2 of them on this board as Nashville wins 2-1. 28-7 is the record for Nashville with the win. With the loss, Colorado 33-23-2 on the season. Shots on net, well, 3 stars first. Saros, Marchessault, and Luke Shen. Now, shots on net, favored Colorado the whole way. 11-9 in the first, 11-6 in the second, 10-2 in the third. Final shots, 32-17 for Colorado. Power plays, the Avs 0-1, Nashville 0-2. The hits, 24-15 Colorado. Wedgwood saved 15 out of 17. Saros was excellent, 31 saves on 32 shots. Now, we're going to board number 2. All right, Anaheim and Boston. Gibson versus Swayman in this one. There's an early press by the Bruins. The shots are 3-0 for the Ducks at 2.5 minutes. Anaheim with some more pressure halfway through the period. Geeky to Pasternak. There's a near miss there. The Bruins, it felt like were waking up after a slow start. They would have to get wakened up again. The Ducks press with 3.5 minutes left. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. And at 17:27 during the 4-on-4, Zegras roofs one on a 2-on-1 rush. Lacombe and Carlson with the assists. So 1-0 Anaheim. And then at 19:22, so a little less than 2 minutes between goals, Frankie Petrano, former Bruin, makes it 2-0. He scores from Gudas and Lacombe, so it's 2-0 Anaheim, and Boston fans, they boo at the horn. Understandable, 2-0 Anaheim after 1. Second period, we get a power play for the Bruins. That's killed off. The shots are 3-1 for Boston 7 minutes in. Castellick can't bury one in close. The Bruins get a power play. That becomes a 5-on-3, and they score on it. Lindholm puts one through Gibson from the left circle. Pasternak and Lowry with the assists at 9:08, so that makes it 2-1. The Ducks kill the 5-on-4. Boston gets another power play. That's killed off, and that was the end of the power plays for Boston. The Ducks then get their first power play at with 1:47 left. It's their only power play. Things get pushy on a hold by Swayman. It's 2-1 Anaheim after 2. Third period. Dostal's in to start the third period, so Gibson on the bench. The Bruins finish the kill. 3.5 minutes in, neither team had a shot on net. The Ducks press at 5 minutes. Lindstrom has a screenshot that saved. The Ducks press with 6.5 minutes left. Shots are 5-2 Boston with 4 minutes left. The Ducks press with 3.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes left. Wotherspoon has a shot that's held. The Bruins tie it. It's waved off for goalie interference, so they challenge it. I was honestly kind of surprised. I was like, he pushed the goalie while he was in the crease. I don't think that's going to count, but it does. Tie game. Geeky gets this one from Lowry and Marchand at 18:49. So that makes it a 2-2 tie. We're going to overtime. In the overtime, the Bruins set up. Pasternak's denied. Zegras has a rush chance. That's held. Then there's a near miss for Connor Geeky. And at 3:39, Leo Carlson roofs a rebound to get the overtime winner. Dumoulin and Terry with the assists. Anaheim. Bit of a shocker. They win in Boston 3-2 in overtime. They go to 25-24-6. They were above 500. Whereas Boston 27-24-7 with the overtime loss. Your 3 stars, Carlson, Geeky, and Vetrano. Shots on net, 17-7. Anaheim in the first, 13-7 Boston in the second, 9-2 Boston in the third, and then 3-1 Anaheim in the overtime, including the shot that matters. Final shots, 30-29 for Boston. Power plays, Boston 1 for 4, Anaheim 0 for 1. The hits, 25-16 Boston. Gibson saved 19 out of 20. Dostal saves 9 out of 10 in relief. And Swayman saves 26 out of 29 in the loss. On to Carolina in Toronto. Kochetkov versus Stolars. The teams trade rushes, and at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, Steves gets his first. He scores that one from Tavares. And then at 3:29, Jordan Staal does Toronto a favor. He puts it in off his own goaltender. So Holmberg, the last Leaf to touch the puck. It's technically an own goal. It is 2-0 for Toronto. We get a power play for the Leafs. That's killed off. One shot on net. There's a near miss for Nylander after it ends. And then at 6:39, Kampf scores from Lorentz and Steves. So Steves with a goal and an assist in the first period. Not too bad. The Leafs then press for another. McMahon has a turnover chance. That's held. The Canes press with 8.5 minutes left. And at 15:06, Toronto scores again. Tavares from Nylander and Holmberg. Svechnikov has a net drive chance. That's held. The Canes press with 2 minutes left with 1:11 left. Carolina gets a power play. So they need a goal because they're down by 4. Power play rolls over into the second period. The Leafs do finish the kill. The Canes press at 2 minutes. They get more pressure 5 minutes in. The Canes doing a good job of getting a lot of zone time in the Toronto end. Rantanen misses one high from in close. The shots are 5-4 for Carolina at 8 minutes. We then get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. Steves has a rush chance that's blocked out. Then there's a blocker save on a rush chance for McMahon. It's 4-0 Toronto after 2. Game's done. Close it up. No problem. Or is it? Third period. The fans call one. The referee does not. The shots are 2-0 Carolina at 3 minutes. Aho has a shot that's blocked as the Canes press. I thought the Leafs sat back a little bit too much in that third period. There's a near miss by Nyes on a rush. The shots are 7-1 for Carolina with 7.5 minutes left. And eventually one's going in. At 12:25, Gostisbehere scores from Aho and Svechnikov. The Leafs call a timeout while they're looking at it. I think they were looking for an offside or whatever to try to, maybe, but they do not challenge it after the timeout. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The goalie pull happens with 6 minutes left. And at 14:46, Svechnikov scores from Rantanen and Gostisbehere. It's 4-2. And then just to make it more fun, 20 seconds later, on a Canes bounce, Slavin buries a puck. Staal and Burns with the assists at 15:06. It is suddenly a 1-goal lead. 3 goals in less than 3 minutes by Carolina, and all of a sudden what could have been a laugher for Toronto is looking like one of those ones where it might be a laugher the other way. Remember, this is the 5-year anniversary of the Zamboni goaltending fiasco for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Were they brewing up a new fiasco? Well, the goalie pull happens again with 2 minutes left, but at 18:36, Matthews hits the empty net from Tanev to avoid a fiasco. The goalie pull happens again, and Holmberg hits the empty net from Nylander at 19 minutes and 40 seconds. Toronto wins this one 6-3. They go to 34-20-2 with the win. With the loss, Carolina 33-20-4 on the year. Your 3 stars are Steves, Tavares, and Holmberg. Shots on net, 12-11 Carolina in the first, 9-8 Toronto in the second, 14-3 Carolina in the third. Final shots, 34-23 for Carolina. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 2. The hits, 24-23 Toronto. Kochetkov saves 18 out of 21. Stolars, 31 saves on 34 shots. So, and he was excellent. And then in the third period, yeah, Carolina, they got some stuff figured out. They just ran out of the clock. They needed more time. All right, next up, Montreal and Ottawa. It's Montembeault versus Ullmark. A net feed to Giroux gets blocked. And then at 2:28 on a turnover, Gallagher gets one from the slot. Montreal with the 1-0 lead. 2 minutes later exactly at 4:28, Caulfield scores from Xhekaj and Savard. And 5 minutes into this game, the shots are 5-1 Montreal and the score's 2-0 Ottawa. Not on time. The Sens press are kept to the outside. Caulfield fires one high on a rush. We get a power play for Ottawa. They score on it. It's Sanderson at 13:20 from Batherson. And Stützle, he wired that one past a screen from the high slot. It's a 2-1 game. The Habs press with 4.5 minutes left, but on a fast break, Stützle ties the game at 15:54. And it looks like, hey, you know, Ottawa got off to a slow start, but they wiped out the lead. Now they got some momentum about that. With 3:51 left, Montreal gets a power play, and at 16:13, they get the lead back at 3-2. Laine with the goal from Hudson and Suzuki. The Sens look to respond. but it's 3-2 Montreal after 1 period of play. Second period, the Habs press at 2.5 minutes. The fans call one, the referee does not. And then on a Sens turnover at 5:14, Josh Anderson makes it a 2-goal lead again for Montreal. Gallagher and Dvorak with the assists. The Sens look to respond, but at 11:37, Slafkovsky puts one through Ullmark on a rush. Suzuki and Struble with the assists. So Anton Forsberg goes into the net and cue up the Ole, Ole, Ole chants from Montreal fans in the crowd. Not rubbing their noses in it, are you, Montreal fans? That's not a Montreal. Sure. And it's Boston does it to Montreal, so it makes sense. It's fan thing that gets done. The shots are 8-4 for the Montreal Canadiens with 5.5 minutes left. The Sens press with 4.5 minutes left. With 34.7 seconds left, Ottawa gets a power play. So they're down by 3. They clearly need a goal. And that power play rolls over into the third. The Habs finish the kill. Power play for Montreal. Hudson fires one high on a rush during that power play. That power play is killed off as well. Shots are 3-1 Montreal at 4.5 minutes. And then Slafkovsky had a fight with Ridley Gregg. I didn't see that one coming. Emotions getting high. The Sens clearly frustrated in this game. This is not the way they wanted to come out of the break. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The Sens press with 4.5 minutes left with 55.1 seconds left. Ottawa goes back to the power play, and that runs out the clock. 5-2 win for Montreal. They even their record at 26-26-5. Ottawa 29-24-4. Again, this one hurts because other teams in their conference won, and it really means they don't have any cushion above that playoff line now. Your 3 stars, Slafkovsky, Gallagher, and Suzuki. Shots on net, 10-9 Ottawa in the first, 8 apiece in the second, 9-8 Ottawa in the third. Final shots are actually 27-25 for the Sens. Power plays, Montreal 1 for 2, Ottawa 1 for 3. The hits, 40-39 in favor of Montreal. Ottawa, actually. Not Montreal, Ottawa. Montembeault saved 25 out of 27. Good game for him. Ullmark saved 10 out of 15. Not a great Ullmark game. He did not look sharp. Forsberg saved all 10 shots in relief. We'll see what they do with their next game because they cannot afford to have another game like this. So we'll see who they put in net. But yeah, big win for Montreal tonight to stay in the hunt. All right, next up, Chicago and Columbus. So it's Mrazek versus Merzlikins. There's an early jump for Columbus. The shots are 2-1 in favor of the home team, 3 minutes in, and they score at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Good forechecking sets this up. Kent Johnson from Sillinger and Werenski. Nazar to Bertuzzi, that gets picked off. Fantilli fires one high on a net drive. Columbus presses at 9.5 minutes. The shots are 6 apiece, I should say, with 8 minutes left. We get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. Foligno had a fight with Labate. Labate playing his first game since, I think it's 2016-2017, his last game. That would have been for Vancouver. Columbus ends up coming out of that with a power play with 20 seconds left in the period. So it's 1-0 Columbus after 1. That power play rolls over into the second period, and they score on it. At 1:12, Kent Johnson puts one past the screen from the high slot. Werenski and Voronkov with the assists. Yeah, Zach Werenski didn't look tired tonight at all. Yeah, he really hasn't skipped a beat. He is right now, I think, if he's not a favorite for the Norris, he's getting to that point. It's getting very, very close to that for him. The Hawks look to respond. There's a power play for Chicago. Craig Smith has a slot shot that's held, and then at 4:53 on the face-off win, Craig Smith gets the power play goal. It deflects in. Vlasic and Nazar with the assists, so that makes it 2-1 in favor of Columbus. Shots are 7-3 Chicago at 7 minutes. The Hawks go back to the power play. That's killed off. And then at 12:42, Matejchuk scores to restore the 2-goal lead for Columbus. 3-1 at that point. The Hawks would press in the final minute, but it's 3-1 Columbus after 2. Third period, early jump for Chicago. The shots are 2-1 in favor of the Blackhawks, 2.5 minutes in. Columbus presses at 4 minutes. Things get pushy on a hole by Mrazek. There's more pressure by Columbus at 6 minutes. Matejchuk is denied on a 3-on-1 rush. Kurashev then fires one wide on a rush of his own. The Hawks press with 7 minutes left, but at 13:41, Werenski on a breakaway. Yeah, he's not tired. Jenner and Sillinger with the assists. And then at 14:44, so less than a minute after they make it 4-1, they make it 5-1 as Adam Fantilli gets in on the fun. He scores from Marchenko and Voronkov. With 2:50 left, Chicago gets a power play. That's killed off. And Columbus wins this one 5-1. They go to 27-22-8. They're now tied in points with Ottawa for that last playoff spot. Chicago 17-32-7 with the loss. 3 stars are Werenski, Kent Johnson, and Elvis gets in the 3 stars, 3rd star. Shots on net, 9-5 Chicago in the first, 12-8 Chicago in the second, 8-7 Columbus in the third. Final shots 28-21 for the Blackhawks. Power play, Chicago 1 for 4. Columbus scored on the only power play they had. The hits, 39-14 for Columbus. Yeah, Chicago not really feeling like hitting tonight. Mrazek saved 16 out of 21. That's not a great stat line. Merzlikins, though, 27 saves on 28 shots. And now we're going to board number 3. All right, last board of the night. Winnipeg in St. Louis against the Blues. It was Comrie at one end and Hofer at the other. Not weird that the teams that are against each other just happen to be the teams that have Hellebuck and Binnington on them, but neither of them played. Shots are 2-0 for the Blues at 2.5 minutes. At 4:58, the Winnipeg Jets open the scoring. Ehlers roofs one on a 2-on-1 rush. Perfetti and the newly re-signed Nemesnikov with the assists there. 1-0 Winnipeg. Hofer commits a bit of an oops, but he bails himself out by making a save. Shots are 7-2 Winnipeg at the half. There's a near miss for Ehlers on a rush, and then on a rush of their own, St. Louis ties it. Thomas goes inside the post with it. Buchnevich with the assist at 15:34. It's a 1-1 tie. Jets press with 3 minutes left. Connor has a backhander that's held with 1:24 left. Winnipeg draws a power play. So it's 1-1 after the first. Power play rolls over into the second. The Blues do finish the kill. The usually lethal power play for Winnipeg did not score tonight. Scheifele's denied as the Jets get some pressure. Pionk has a wrister then that's held. There's good forechecking by Winnipeg. We get a power play for the Blues. That's killed off. The teams trade turnovers. And then at 11:01, Gabe Vilardi scores from Scheifele and Colin Miller. So that restores the lead for Winnipeg. Jets look for another. The shots are 8-3 for the Jets with 8 minutes left. We get a power play for Winnipeg. That becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. Jets press with 3 minutes left. The Blues press in the final 30 seconds. Thinks he got kind of pushy at the horn. But after 2 periods of play, it's 2-1 for the Jets. Third period. On a wraparound at 16 seconds, Thomas gets the second goal of the game. He scores that from Buchnevich and Fowler to make it a 2-2 tie. Blues then look for the lead. Thomas fires one high on a rush. Good forechecking by the Blues. Jets then can't bury one amidst a dogpile at the net. The shots are 2 apiece at 8.5 minutes. Winnipeg presses halfway through the period. The Blues have a 3-on-2. That misfires. We get a power play for the Blues, and it's a 4-minute power play. And during the first 2 minutes of it, at 17:10, Buchnevich scores from Thomas and Sundqvist. So it's a 3-2 lead. They've got a power play for another 2 minutes. This game looks like it's done. However, the Jets kill the other 2 minutes, and then at 19:32, Vilardi gets his second goal of the game. He scores to tie it from Connor and Perfetti. So 3-3 tie after 3 periods of play. I've always been a Vilardi fan. So we go to overtime. The Blues control early. The teams trade rush chances. Holloway steals one. The Blues set up. Sandberg to Lowry. There's a near miss. We end up going to the shootout. In the shootout, Kyle Connor with the winner. And the Jets win this one in a shootout 4-3. They go to 39-14-3 with the win. That's their 9th win in a row. For St. Louis, 25-26-5. They do get a point against Winnipeg, but they had a chance to get 2 and just couldn't hold on. 3 stars are Vilardi, Thomas, and Connor. Shots on net, 10-5 Winnipeg in the first, 8 apiece in the second, 9-7 St. Louis in the third, 3-2 Winnipeg in the overtime. Final shots 28-24 for the Jets. Power plays, Winnipeg 0 for 2, St. Louis 1 for 4. The hits, 34-24 St. Louis. Comrie saves 21 out of 24. Hofer saved 25 out of 28. But entertaining game. All right, next up. Utah and the LA Kings. Ingram versus Kemper. Early press by the Utah Hockey Club. Shots are 2 apiece at 4.5 minutes. Utah presses at 5 minutes. We get a power play for Utah, and they score on it. Barrett Hayden at 7:54 from Schmaltz and Gunther, but LA gets that back. At 8:22, it's Doughty with a one-timer pass to screen. Fiala and Edmondson with the assists, making it a 1-1 tie. Gunther then has a tip shot that's saved. We get a crossbar for Doughty as he's looking for another goal. It's 1-1 after the first period. Second period, Hayden has a chance that's blocked as Utah's making a push for the lead. Kings press at 2 minutes, but the only shot on net belongs to Utah at 3 minutes. Fogle fires one wide from the slot. Lewis then has a rush chance that's held. Kerfoot has a rush of his own. That draws a power play for Utah, and they score on it. It is Hayden scoring from Schmaltz and Keller at 5:50, and Hayden bearing a rebound and close. That Utah power play is pretty good. The Kings did not end up going to the penalty kill again in this game. Utah presses at 7 minutes. We then get a power play for the Kings, and at 7:59, Fiala buries a tic-tac-toe play at the net. Kopitar and Doughty with the assists. The game's tied at 2. Shots are 7-5 for Utah halfway through the period. The teams trade rushes. And at 16-10, LaFerriere goes backhand on a breakaway to give the Kings their first lead of the game at 3-2. Doughty and Edmondson with the assists. So there's Doughty on the board again. Utah presses in the final minute with 1.3 seconds left. The Kings go to the power play. So that rolls over to the third period. Utah does finish the kill. The only shot on net is LA's 4 minutes in. Utah presses at 5.5 minutes. Kings get some pressure of their own 7 minutes in. Dursey has a net drive chance that's held. There's some pushing as Sean Dursey was back in the lineup for the first time in a while tonight. Kempe fires one high on a rush, and at 9:41, Lewis buries a backhand in close to give LA an insurance goal at 4-2. The assists by Spence and Danault. Utah presses to respond, and they do. At 11 minutes, Hayden buries a rebound for the first hat trick in Utah's franchise history, and also the first hat trick in Barrett Hayden's career. The assists to Carcone and Dursey. So Dursey on the board with a helper. Suddenly it's a 4-3 game. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes left, and at 18:30, Mikey Anderson hits the empty net from Danault to make the score 5-3. Utah pulls the goalie again. They are not able to generate a goal. LA with the 5-3 win. They go to 30-17-7 on the season with the loss. Utah 24-24-9. Your 3 stars are Doughty, Hayden, and Fiala. Shots on net, 8-6 LA in the first, 11-9 LA in the second, 12-7 Utah in the third. Final shots 27-26 for the Utah Hockey Club. Power plays, Utah 2 for 2, LA 1 for 2. The hits 24-20 LA. Ingram saves 21 out of 25, and Kemper 24 saves on 27 shots. All right, and last game of the night is Vancouver in Vegas against the Golden Knights. So it's Lankinen versus Hill. Dorofeev fires one high. The next chance he has is held. The shots are 2-0 for Vegas at 3.5 minutes. Too many men on the ice for the Canucks. They were out of sync during large stretches of this game. Vegas with the power play. That was killed off. No shots on net for Vegas during that power play. Vegas presses at 6.5 minutes. Besser very nearly opens the scoring not long after that. Sherwood's denied on a turnover, and then the Canucks with too many men on the ice again in the first period. And that's killed off as well. Shots are 5-4 Vegas with 5.5 minutes left. Olofsson has a one-timer that's saved. With 2:11 left, a delay of game call gives Vegas another power play. That's killed off. So Vegas had 3 first-period power plays. Those are the only power plays they had, and you have to call all of them. You have to call the too many men. You got to call the delay of game. So scoreless after the first. Canucks a little bit lucky there. Second period. Good early forechecking by Vegas. The teams trade turnovers. Garland has a wrister that's caught and held. Vegas presses at 4.5 minutes. The Canucks have been on their heels a lot at that stage of the game, but Hronek hits the outside of the net, and the Canucks would open the scoring. On a cross-ice pass that Hill tried to intercept and didn't, DeBrusk scores. It's his 20th of the season and his 300th NHL point. Sherwood and Soucy with the assists at 6:22. We get a power play for the Canucks. That's killed off. Roy's denied on a rush afterwards. And at 11:02, Vegas would tie it. Barbashev buries a rebound in close. Olofsson and Korzak with the assists. The Canucks then look to respond. Myers has a slapper. That's kicked aside. There's a near miss for Barbashev on a turnover. Hedel fires one high on a net drive. The Canucks with frequent icing calls late in that period, which I'm sure made Lankinen really happy. Vegas presses in the final minute. It's 1-1 after 2 periods of play. Third period, 18 seconds in. And this is just one of those, real kicks to the, if you're the Canucks. But Saad buries a rebound on a rush. Whitecloud and Howden with the assists. So 2-1 Vegas. They're very tough at home. They're very tough in third periods. Vegas presses at 2.5 minutes. It's all Vegas at this point. Pearson fires one wide on a rush. Then the Canucks tie it. It's waved off for goalie interference, and this is the right call. Bluger didn't try to get out of the crease enough, and he did fall, and he's right there behind the goaltender, so it's the right call. Things get pushed in a hole by Lankin, and the Canucks press at 7 minutes. The shots are 6-3 Vegas at 7.5 minutes. Howden has a rush chance that's saved. Suter with a near miss on a rebound, and the Canucks would start generating some chances. Things get pushed in a hole by Hill. Vegas presses with 7 minutes left. There's a power play for Vancouver. The Canucks would score, but basically Joshua pushes the pad of Hill and causes the puck to go into the net. Those don't count, so the goalie, the referee waves that off, understandably. The goalie pull happens with 3 minutes left. And so, that power play ends up being killed off by Vegas after. So it was briefly a 6-on-4. And with 2:37 left, the Canucks call a timeout. They had opportunities, but in the end, Hurdle hits the empty net from Howden and Roy. at 19-29. Vegas with a 3-1 win over the Canucks. They go to 34-17-6. Edmonton lost earlier today, so now Vegas with a 2-point lead atop the division. The Canucks 26-19-11. They're playing in Utah tomorrow night. Your 3 stars are Saad, Hill, and Barbashev. Because it's in Vegas, no Canucks are allowed in the 3 stars. Shots on net, 13-5 Vegas in the first, 12-10 Vegas in the second, 18-10 for Vancouver in the third. Final shots, 35-23 for Vegas. Power plays, the Canucks over 2, Vegas over 3. The hits, 34-10 for Vancouver, and I looked, Sherwood had 9 of them. So Kiefer Sherwood hits everything. Lankin and 32 saves on 34 shots. I thought he deserved to be one of the stars. He's the only reason this game's close. Aiden Hill, 32 saves on 33 shots. He played tremendous hockey in that third period. Pretty good game, but Vegas gets the win, and there you go. You're all caught up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support, as always. I will talk to you again soon.